Hello, welcome to the Kindness Podcast Live. I am so excited today to be able to share with you. Some of you are chasers, and if you're a chaser, you know what that means. And if you're not a chaser, I bet you will be soon, because I am talking with straight no chaser today. This is a 9-member acapella group, and I'm talking with 2 of the members today. Yay, we have Segi Isho and Steve Morgan. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. This is great.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Before we get too far in, I want to say a thank you, because there's always a lot of gratitude that comes with kindness. And so I want to thank the Verona Senior Center out of Verona, Wisconsin, because they are making this possible today for us. So thank you, Verona Senior Center. Now I'm going to move that little banner away so that I can see all of your heads and faces and all of that. So guys, first of all, tell us where you're coming from. Where are we finding you? Steve, you are in Ohio?
Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And tell us about who are you living with? Who do you have in your people group?
Well, I've got a larger group than normal, actually. I've got a wife and 2 kids, 11 and 8 years old. And right now we're doing a home renovation. So I'm also living with my in-laws / roommates. It's one big happy family.
And you can't tour right now, and you're like,
nope, nowhere to go.
Did you plan the home renovation before quarantine happened?
No, we did not see this coming in January when we started. So joke's on us.
Yes,
namely me.
And your in-laws. Oh, those poor people, right? No.
God bless them. We're getting along well, actually.
Segi, how about you? You're coming from Detroit.
I'm coming from Detroit, and I myself also have some roommates. I've got a 3-year-old roommate and a 1-year-old roommate. They're
awful.
Terrible roommates. They leave messes everywhere. Can't go to the bathroom by themselves. But yeah, I'm just up here in Detroit. But I will say, Steve, your in-laws are very lucky, because Steve is an incredible chef. So they're probably getting to have better than normal meals. I mean, I don't know how your in-laws cook, but I'm sure it's not as good as you. So props to you. I'm sure you're serving up some awesome dishes over there.
I'm trying to throw down. They're a little concerned. My 8-year-old son has been a vegetarian for 4 years. So when I'm cooking up tofu, though, my father-in-law is just going, "What do you do with that?" We're all learning. We're all learning.
Did he become a vegetarian by himself, or did somebody suggest that?
My wife has gone back and forth with vegetarianism, but now he's diehard. He was like, "Did an animal have to die for this? If so, then he's out. He didn't want anything to do with it."
Oh, he should be on the Kindness Podcast. That is incredibly sweet.
He's an amazing young man.
Fun. Well, we love to invite people who are watching to comment with their questions and to jump in here and say whatever they want to say. So I want to throw that out there for everybody watching. We want to hear from you. So please let us know you're here, and we'll do a shout out for you. But I would love to hear your story. The story of it's the story of Straight No Chaser is crazy. It's just crazy. So who wants to tell it?
Go ahead, Steve. You were there for the beginning.
First off, none of it should have worked out. None of this should ever have happened. But we started back in 1996 on the campus of Indiana University. We were all part of a show choir called the Singing Hoosiers, and we got together basically to sing stuff that was more current, stuff that we wanted to sing, and to sing for food and girls. What higher calling could you have in college? The group continued on as a legacy group and now continues to this day. So 24 years later, it's still going strong at IU, which is all we ever really envisioned for it and dreamed of it to be. And then about 10 years after we started leaving in 2008, actually this winter of 2007, the video that we did back in 1999 was posted to YouTube and went viral. And we got 7 million views in December of 2007. And one of the views was from Craig Kalman, president and CEO of Atlantic Records. Flew us all out to New York, and we got a record deal from that video. And it's been now 12 years of touring, making records, and doing all the fun things.
Wow. And that video, I watched the video. It's great. I mean, it's super fun. It's like the 12 Days of Christmas meets Africa's Toto.
Exactly. Yes. Africa was one of the first songs. It was actually the song we did our very first show back in 1996. And it was something that was requested every time we performed at IU. So we decided to tack that on to the end of the 12 days, an already fun version of the 12 days. And that has become our signature piece for the last 12 years.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious, Eggy, you were there at that time, but you weren't in the group. So at some point someone left and you were ready to come on in?
Yeah. So while I was at Indiana University, I was in the group there from I think 2002 to 2005, and when these guys got the record deal, those of us that had gone through Straight No Chaser and had graduated were very happy for them, but at the same time very jealous. Like, man,
Yeah, sure.
this could have been a video of us doing it for one of our concerts. Like, just the happenstance that it was that video. So we were definitely very happy for them because we'd all become friends over the years. And then luckily for myself and Tyler Trepp, another member, two of the guys had to step away. One of which was Steve, because very early on there were a lot of question marks. I mean, there still are, but especially back then, there was no guarantee of ever performing a show, people even caring if we had a show. So, these guys that had kids at the time were just like, listen, I can't really take that jump into that just abyss of unknown right now. I've got a family. I've got to make sure that, things are happening on my end. So luckily, two of those guys had to step away, and they brought in myself and Tyler, and haven't looked back since. And that was just back in 2009, early 2009, when we were brought in.
Okay. And Steve, your history was as a Broadway performer. I'm looking at my notes because I'm like, is this right? Broadway performer, financial analyst?
Yeah, pretty standard stuff.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, right. I mean, they totally fit together. So is Straight No Chaser your day job, or is this a moonlight and you're still doing financials, or what do you got going?
No, Straight No Chaser is all of our day jobs now. When we started the group, again, I was still in Mamma Mia on Broadway when we were rehearsing and getting ready for to put out our first record. So when that all came down, my wife and I were pregnant. We left New York, moved to Bloomington. I went back to grad school. So I was trying to do grad school and it was, I ended up leaving a month before my daughter was born because it was just a little overwhelming at the time. And it's one of those where the grass is always greener. And, I did my 2 years of grad school, worked at a bank for 3 years. And then when somebody else left the group to start their own family, I got a call saying, would you like to come back? And I said, let me talk to my wife. And she said, yeah, get out of here. Go. You got to do this. So that was 7 years ago now.
There is something about a wife that we know when our husbands' souls are being fed and when they're not. And, they say when mom's happy, everybody's happy. But I think that when dad is in a good place, like, it makes the household roll well as well. So
it doesn't hurt. And wife, we met doing a show. We met doing the national tour of the Full Monty. So she knew my passion for all that way back when, from the get-go, I should say.
I still love the Mamma Mia thing. I'm a huge Mamma Mia fan. Could you guys put that in some of your acapella stuff coming up? Could you make that happen for me? Small dedication to Nicole at the Kindness Podcast.
Sure, a little ABBA. Shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, speaking of shout outs, let's see. Oh, you're going to like this one. This is Jean Mcgovern, and she says, can't wait to listen to Story and Song. And Jean Mcgovern is very special to me because that's my mommy.
Nice. That fits so perfectly. You have no idea, because the number one thing that we hear from people anytime if we're ever recognized off of stage, which is very rare, or even at shows, the number one thing said to us is, man, my mom loves you guys. So you have no idea how perfect that whole thing just was. So on brand. That's great.
Yeah. I write kindness stories for a living, and my husband always says, like, these are your people when we go someplace, where there are, older seniors and older people. I don't know, because I feel like 85 and above is like my zone. That those people know about kindness. They get it. They're done fooling around, and, they appreciate people and the good things they do. So anyway, I think it's a good crowd. Okay. So here are some really fun things that I am so excited to talk to you about, because as I have been following you, I've noticed two really remarkable things about the group. And the first is how you have pivoted during COVID, because for a lot of people, a lot of artists, it's you kind of shrink back, you shut down, you think, well, there's nothing I can do now, especially for 9 people who sing together. So tell me about the pivot that happened during COVID.
Take it away, Seg.
So, we're at a crossroads, really, that especially because, like you said, there's 9 of us, we live spread out all over the country, and it's not like we could just get together easily and make music. But, we were just getting ready to go back out on tour and to go overseas again. And, we wanted
on a cruise ship, no less.
Yeah, right. So we wanted to make sure that we were still able to make music. And, music is obviously very important in the world for everything, for mental health, for just any aspect of life. Music is very important. And what we wanted to do was give people, while they're stuck at home, while they're trying to avoid their screaming kids or screaming partners, just 2 to 3 minutes of an escape. Just sit down, listen to a song, listen to it by Straight No Chaser, Acapella, just soothing harmonies. I'm being very complimentary to us, and that's okay. just an escape for a few minutes a day, a week, whenever you need that time. And it was really important to us to do that, for us to do that. And the other angle was, we have this platform. We're basically a mouthpiece, right, for anyone we'd like to be a mouthpiece for. And we decided, we've got all this never before seen footage of these older shows. Why don't we try to premiere those on YouTube, pair with a charity? Obviously, we can't sell tickets, but we can ask people to make donations in lieu of purchasing a ticket, obviously, if you're able to. And, I think to date, we've raised over $30,000 for various charities on YouTube, partnering with our premieres. And, it's something we're going to continue to do. And it's great for us to be able to do that, especially since there's not much else we can do from home. So luckily we have this footage in the first place. But it really does mean a lot to us, because there are a lot of people that need help. Like, yeah, it stinks for us that we can't be out on the road doing our shows, but there are people dealing with real problems, and it's nice to be able to help those people out.
Right. There's a woman from Iowa named Andrea, and she was curious as to how you all sound so good on Zoom. And I have to agree. I mean, if I'm sitting here singing right now, I'm guessing you're not harmonizing with me.
Well, it's impossible to harmonize live on Zoom. Just the latency issues, it doesn't line up. Nothing will line up, and it just all goes terribly awry, which we have a little short YouTube video out of us comically trying to do it live. So now we've realized that what we're doing with our quarantine sessions is we are recording live in one take. We're just recording it and sending it to one guy who puts it all together, because it doesn't work any other way.
So how do you work for that's just the timing and the pacing of the song and things like that. How is there a way to kind of massage that afterwards to make it fit together electronically, or do you just have to be on?
You have to be on, and we sing to a click track so that everybody can keep in time with a very specific tempo and the specific pitch center with singing along like that. So in that respect, what we're singing along to is all of us. So it's not that foreign to us. Yeah.
Oh, that's really exciting, because I feel like you just pulled back the curtain and I got to see like Oz, I got to see like what really happened.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Okay, so we did have another comment. Let me find it on here. What do you think will be the most difficult issue as you head out on tour again? That's from Sarah. What do you think?
For us, we will definitely be the last industry to go back, obviously, sports and concerts and everything. The most difficult thing, I think, for us personally, on a personal level, for the 9 of us, will be what we can do, what kind of interactions we can have with our fans. Something we pride ourselves on is after every show, we'll head out to the lobby, we'll sit down, and anyone who would like to get a CD signed, a shirt signed, just to say hello, anything, is more than welcome to stay, free of charge, obviously. And it's very close personal contact, and people are, queued up in a long line. So I don't know if that's going to be able to continue, or how we're going to be able to restructure that so we can still have that interaction. That's really important to us, because it's a way for us to thank the fans, because people aren't coming to our shows buying tickets, then we don't have a career. So it's nice for us to be able to do that, and it'll be difficult to kind of massage that whole situation. And then, obviously there are the obvious things like what the capacities are going to be like in theaters, and it'll just be really trying and interesting. But as soon as we're allowed to, we will be on stage somewhere, because we're all just chomping at the bit. It's not just to get away from our kids, who may or may not be driving us crazy, but we're all desperately trying to get back out on stage, because this is the longest we've ever gone without doing a show, and it stinks.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I travel to speak and things like that. And during this quarantine, I talked my husband into buying a new house, because and literally we put our house on the market and sold it, because I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to have to work in my, like this is my little spot right here. And but I can hear pitter patters upstairs and the dog barking and everything. And I'm like, so I will have a dedicated office, not a spare bedroom in the new place. And so
I feel your pain. Where I'm staying at my in-laws, you can hear a gun range right down the way. So there's a volley of gunfire often. The mowers go by, and yeah.
You win. You win, Steve.
I don't think anybody's winning in my situation here.
I think the first time we had a Zoom call together, Steve, the first time during this quarantine, Steve was at his in-laws, and we were like, Steve, are those gunshots? What is going on over there? Yeah, you could hear them clear as day through the Zoom and everything. It was great.
It's a very good neighborhood, I promise.
As long as you don't leave your house. Great. So, but that said, being young dads who travel a lot, have you found that there were parts of this quarantine that you're like, oh, this is good for my soul? Or no?
Well, I think anytime when you're changing, we're changing the entire paradigm of education in the last two months. So to be there and be active for them, one of the things I've always done when I was home is make up math sheets. I was a math and voice major, so I like to go through and make the math sheets, and I try to stay involved when I can with them on the road. I hit them up every day for what they're doing, but to be present during this time and to say, we're in it together. Let's go. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Any questions you have with your homework, I'm your teacher now. So let's get into it. It's been good to be there for that. I hope we all return to normal, because I think nobody's ever appreciated teachers as much as all of us at this point. So hopefully that won't be less.
Or stay-at-home parents, because
that
is a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, Steve, along with the fact that you guys are going to make me my very own Mamma Mia quarantine video series, do you think maybe you could do a multiplying fractions video series? Because I am trying to teach my 4th grader how to multiply fractions, and it's funny, but I may have forgotten how to do that over the 40 seconds.
Here's the good news. The good news is multiplying fraction is much easier than adding and subtracting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just multiply straight across.
Okay, I don't believe you, but okay, all right.
So what you want to do is you want to open your calculator on your phone here. I'm so thankful that I'm not having to teach my school. My kids are not school aged yet. I'm very thankful for that fact, because that would not be fun.
Well, I mean, speaking of kindness, though, it's trying to get 2 kids, 11 and 8, who are together all the time and just want to see their friends that are so cooped up. I feel like I'm working less on kindness and more on just civility right now.
Right.
But we slowly get to the next stage.
Yeah. So I shouldn't even say this story, but the other day I was watching TV, maybe all day long. I don't know. I'm not judging. And there was a commercial that kept repeating. And it's this comedian, and it was the same joke over and over and over again. So by 8:00 at night, the commercial pops on, and my family is sitting in the living room with me, and I yell, I hate you in my hand at the TV, and my entire family went, because hate's like a swear word in our house. You don't say you hate something, you don't even know them. Right. But, ooh, yeah. So it's not
We've all been there. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think everybody's found their breaking point at some point in the last 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. Segi, what's been your silver lining for this quarantine?
You know, when we're home, when we're off the road, we're home. You know, we're stay-at-home dads, and we're there morning to night. And this is the longest we've gone doing that, and it's been great. The silver lining for me was we were supposed to be in Europe for my son's 3rd birthday and my daughter's 1st birthday, and I was very conflicted about missing my daughter's 1st birthday. You know, the 3rd birthday, he's fine. He won't remember it anyway. But, you know, the first one, selfishly, more so for me than for her, I wanted to be there. And luckily I was, you know, able to be home with the family. And I think another silver lining is just, you know, getting that time, you know, because once the gates are open, it's going to be a full sprint, you know, because capacities are going to be trimmed in half or lower. We're probably going to end up doing more shows. So we're probably going to see ourselves out on the road a little bit more next year, if I had to guess, providing that everything is safe to do so. So it's nice to have this time. And we're also in the middle of getting ready to move, and we're building a house right now. So it's been fun to kind of be around a little bit more for that and picking all the things out and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's the silver lining is, you know, just the family time, getting to spend more time with the kids. And I know it's going to be tougher to leave now, probably, that we've had this routine for so long. Tough for them. I'm saying it's going to be very easy for me to leave. Don't worry. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, once we do head on the road, I think we're going to be out for a while. So it's nice to have this extended period.
And I think you just announced some new concert dates, didn't you?
You know, ambitiously, I think we moved some shows that were supposed to be from the spring to September. And then our summer tour, we had to move to next summer. So I think basically what's been happening is you push them back a little bit, wait and see if it's going to be okay, and then push them back again. So honestly, I have no idea when we'll be able to hit the road again. So, you know, ideally we'd love to be able to do those September shows. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm very hopeful, but I'm not very optimistic for that fact just yet. So we'll see what happens.
The good part is that we haven't really had to cancel anything. We just postponed. So that's the silver lining in terms of that side of things.
Your chasers will love that. Do you happen to know this? I'm putting you on the spot. You don't know if you're making your way to Wisconsin?
We were supposed to be at Fish Creek, Wisconsin, and also up at Big Top Chautauqua in Bayfield.
Yeah. Okay. So for all of our Verona Senior Center fans, it's going to be rescheduled. You're going to be in Wisconsin at some point. And so
we'll be back.
See that.
I go up there every summer, so my in-laws are very excited to get up there and see us. So we've been trying to do that for years.
It's the Door County area. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Talk about some of the songs that you come up with or have come up with during this quarantine. Are they songs that you generally had in the repertoire anyway, or are some of them new?
All the quarantine session songs are things that we've done in the past thus far. We haven't recorded anything new for the quarantine sessions. We've got a couple of new arrangements that we've been kicking around, and then we're always working on the next project. So there's a lot of stuff that we're working on new that nobody's heard yet, but hopefully we'll have the opportunity to get that out sooner than later.
And that leads us to our next question, which Teresa wants to know, what's your favorite a cappella song? Now, I know Teresa is a singer, so this is exciting for her. What's your favorite, Segi?
Oh, man, just a cappella song, not by us.
Either way, it can be by you.
I'll do one not by us. I'll say Boys to Men Yesterday is up there. We did that one in college, and it's such a good arrangement. And obviously those guys sound just ridiculous on it. So I'll take that one. Yesterday, Boys to Men.
Okay. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, that's the Boys to Men stuff. The acapella stuff was some of my formative coming of age in acapella. I will go with some good friends of ours, Take Six. They have a song called A Few More Miles. It is just it's perfect.
Yeah, I know Take Six. Awesome. What's your favorite song that you both sing?
That's tough. I think, collectively, I think we have a favorite moment in the show. And that is at the end of the show, after the encore, we'll put the microphones down and sing a song off mic. And that song changes every year and every season. And that moment is probably our favorite. As far as my favorite song, it's going to sound weird and you'd think it would be the opposite, but I think the 12 Days of Christmas might be my favorite one to perform because, whether it's our 10 millionth time singing it that year, it's still so many people's first time seeing it. And it's very easy to identify those people in the audience from stage. And it makes the song fun every night when we're performing it, even though we've done it a billion times. People assume that we'd be sick of it, and I'm sure some guys are. But seeing people experience it for the first time always makes it fun and special because that's, the song that catapulted us to being what we are today. So I'll take the 12 days.
They're the ones out there going. So,
I was wondering, what is them?
It still just resonates with people, so I love it as well. My favorite, I'd have to say, is an oldie but a goodie, Heidi Ho. It's a Carole King song that I did actually in community theater back in high school. And when I went to IU, I took it with me. We did it in a couple of forums, just kind of brought cabaret type settings. And then Walter Chase arranged it for Acapella. And we've been doing it now for the past 20 years. So,
Heidi Ho, I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know that one.
Covered by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's a good tune anyways, but I like our version.
Okay. Let's see. We have another question. This is from Faye. Faye says, "When will you come to Ohio when you're able to tour? Do you know if Ohio is on your?"
Ohio is always on the schedule.
Yes,
right.
we always.
You're in Detroit and you're in Cincinnati, so.
We always come to Cincinnati. We're always in Columbus, then always in Cleveland, and then normally we go to Toledo. We go a lot of places in Ohio. Dayton, yes. So we do plenty of dates in Ohio.
There you go, Faye. You can check them out in Columbus. I think that's probably pretty close to the closest to Athens, Ohio, southeastern Ohio that you get into. So yay. We got another fan. Sonia says, yes, come to Ohio.
I'm already there, Sonia. I'm already there.
Yeah, right? Just back, boom, done.
Just head over to Steve's in-laws. They'd love to have you.
Yeah.
We're looking to add more people.
Yeah, you are. And Steve will cook for us, right?
Of course.
All right, guys, I'm going to put you on the spot maybe a little bit with this question, which is, can you share, because it's the Kindness Podcast, a moment of kindness, an act of kindness that you either did or received that really mattered to you? I feel like the more that we can share and express stories of kindness, the more we realize that you really don't have to be a superhero or a superstar in order for it to matter. But I would love to hear of something you either gave or received that mattered to you.
Just off the top of my head, because it's very fresh. It was actually something we were able to do. My kids are out of the baby phase, but we still had so much baby stuff, all of the baby stuff. And we were able to donate a lot of that stuff to families that really, really needed, especially now because you can't go to the stores and even buy it right now if you wanted it. But we were able to donate a lot of the baby clothes and breast pumps and maternity clothes and toys and all sorts of different things. And it was really nice to be able to do that for young families starting out with a new baby, because we the three of us know what it's like in those early stages, and it's nice to have the stuff that make having a baby easier. Those tools. They're expensive, but they're great to have. And it was nice to be able to pass that on to people that could use it now that, obviously we don't really need it anymore, but it was nice to have thankful families that were very glad to have those things, and I'm happy for them that they get those tools now.
Yeah. Such a great feeling to be able to give too. It, it just lights up our own pleasure centers. How about you, Steve? Oh, I can't hear you, Steve. Are you on mute?
Not anymore.
Yay!
Sorry. I said if we're going to go back to like a straight no chaser based version, I think ultimately our job in the group is to just provide joy. We're trying to provide escapist joy for people for 2 hours a night when we go out and perform. And so, taking the time afterwards, again, to shake hands, to take pictures with people, to just interact with them in some way, shape, or form. I've gotten notes after the fact saying it just meant so much that you took the time to ask how I was doing, to sit there and have a conversation with me after the show. And it's the littlest thing, and it can mean so much. And so when you hear back from people that you've just made a little difference in their lives in that little small way, that means a lot.
Yeah.
I have another one if you don't mind.
I don't. I love it. Thank you.
One upper guy. All right.
Well, it's not something I did. It was something that was done for us. So obviously the quarantine has put a damper on a lot of things, and one of those things was not being able to have birthday parties for my kids. And both of their birthdays were in early May. And, we had like a little sign in the yard, and we had like the whole drive-by thing. But, later in the evening, even after the kids were in bed, my next door neighbor comes over and rings the doorbell. I answer the door, and he's standing there with a gift bag. And mind you, I've spoken to them a few times. They moved in not too long ago. But we're not, we don't really know each other very well. But he's standing there, and he's got a gift bag, and he's like, "Hey, we noticed that it was your kids' birthdays, and it's not much, but it's something we had in the house, and we thought that your kids would like it. So just tell them happy birthday for us." And it was like the nicest thing ever, and so unexpected. And shout out to my next door neighbor for doing that. That was really, really kind and awesome and super nice, and really made us smile at the end of the day, even though we were kind of sad that we couldn't, give our kids a nice birthday party with their friends and family. But it rounded out the evening, and we were able to finish the day with a smile. So that was really awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. I am so grateful that you both would join us today. And I want to thank the Verona Senior Center again. And I know that everyone watching will enjoy watching your quarantine videos. So tell people where they can find you, if there's a particular schedule you're on, what we should be looking for.
They can find us on, we have a YouTube channel on sncmusic.com that will take you to every place you need to go. But it'll take you to our YouTube channel where we're releasing a new song from our quarantine session every Wednesday. So please check that out.
Excellent. Anything you want to add before I let you go?
Just thanks for having us. We hope to see everybody out on the road soon.
Yep. Stay safe. Stay home if you can, and wear a mask when you go out, and just wash your hands all the time, and stay safe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just want to say thank you so much to both of you for adding joy during this quarantine time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being on the Kindness Podcast.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much.